I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
Wait, don't skip ahead till you hear about this fantastic thingy.
Hey, it's Jacob. I wanted to show you guys the digital scorecards that me and Forrest have been using to keep track of the holes that we've aced. We currently have about 836 holes each, and that became impossible to keep track of with paper spreadsheets. So I made these, and it's cool because they're online, so I can go on, and if it's just me playing, he's at work or whatever, I can go on and look at his scorecard, and I can figure out which holes he's aced that I haven't, and I can kind of play catch up from there. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but I will. Maybe I can save a blank copy of this spreadsheet as like a Google Doc or something and put it in the video description. I don't see why that wouldn't work, but I'll try to figure that out. If I haven't got it figured out by the time you see the video, if you leave a comment or whatever, remind me. What I would love to see eventually is an online database, kind of like Speed Demos Archive or whatever, where you would have to submit a video proving that you had aced the hole, and then there'd be a handful of moderators that would verify that, and then there'd be like an online database strictly for hole-in-ones. I know there's the Discord, but I personally think the Discord kind of sucks. It's very hard to navigate, but this way you could search by hole or by user. So I'm sure someone as legendary as Daddy Inner Princess would, you could search his name and then all the ones that he's aced would come up. I don't know, just spitballing, but maybe we can figure this out in the future. But these scorecards have been hugely helpful for us, and yeah, so I'll try to put a copy of this in the video description. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I love you. I will commentate some of these with tricks and tips, suggestions, whatever, but these first two are pretty self-explanatory, so I'll take a moment to explain why some of these are going to have audio and some won't. I just started trying to structure the recordings to where they would translate well to a video, and the main thing I changed was turning the music volume down and the sound effect volume up, and that way I could overlay or dub the music from the actual course over, and you'd still be able to hear the sound effects and everything. So there's that. And also, I'm curious, maybe you guys have a suggestion or an opinion on this. I just found out that you could record in landscape mode, which I had no idea. So maybe I'll experiment with that for the next video. Maybe that'll be better, make it for a better viewing experience. But for now, they're square, and deal with it. Hole number 4, I wasted about 3 hours, maybe 2 hours on this hole with the wrong strat. And then once I found this strat, I got it after like 5 minutes. So you're gonna bank it off the left right there, and you'll see it's gonna go right over the first Philip Seymour Troughtman. It flies right over it. You're gonna hit this little sandy pad down here. You can see it here, boom, just barely flies over that trough, hits the sandy part, and then bounces right into that quadrant. There's that. There's the trough. You land in there, you're good. 5 is sort of a pain. It's not that big of a deal. Here's the strat. This is definitely the strat. But it's going to be one that you're just going to have to hit it and then just pray, and eventually it's going to go in. Here's a couple times where I got pretty close. This one took me maybe 20-30 minutes, but no big deal. You can actually, there's a way to hit that rock and make it fly straight down to the green. Why isn't it lagging? But it's pixel perfect. This is the one where I got it. So, boom. But yeah, like I said, there's a way to hit that rock and make it go straight, fly straight towards the hole. but it's pixel perfect. I don't think it's worth it because I think it's better to just hit the rock right here and then try to get it to go down that ramp. Eventually, you're going to get a lucky bounce. It's going to go in. Boom. Just like this, and you do a twirl and you go boom. Yeah, right here's the strat where it kind of goes toward the hole. It would be very, very tough to hit it like that. So I'll show you right here in a second. It's pixel perfect right on the cutting edge of that rock. Boom. Don't even mess with that. Hit the middle of the rock right here. Fun fact, on hole number 6, this one used to be next to impossible before the remaster. There was actually a tree that was leaning over that rock, and Forrest actually got it like second try, and I was like, oh man, we found the strat, this is so awesome. And then it took me probably an hour and a half because there was a tree leaning over that, so I wouldn't hit it hard enough, and then I'd hit it 1% harder and it would hit that tree. So it's not too bad this time. 7, pretty simple. There's a rock that's slightly wider than the rest over here. You're gonna hit kind of hard, maybe 60%, the left side of that rock. Bounce it's gonna bounce out and back into the testicle sack. Eight is another hole that I spent entirely too much time on broken strats that just didn't work. I've probably sank 2 or 3 hours into this hole, but this strat, it looks crazy, but it works. And I'll show you in a second. Forrest even replicated it after like 10 minutes. So you're gonna bounce it off that bridge right there. And then the trick really is to bounce it off this banister. You're gonna bounce once, hit this banister. It's not as hard as it sounds. And then once it hits that banister, it pretty much goes directly toward the hole, and then you'll get a bounce off. This is Forrest's shot right here, but he did this after like 5 or 10 minutes after we found the strat, so pretty easy. 9 is pretty simple. There's a rock over here to your right. This bitch loves to be jumped. If you hit that rock, it's gonna launch the ball into the air. So right there, I just dunked it straight in because I'm badass like that, you know what I'm saying? 10, I believe, is actually a lot easier since the remaster as well, although I can't really tell you why. I don't know why they would have changed that one rock, but I got this one before, but I had to get it again because I didn't get it on footage the last time. But bounce off the corner of that rock, it's going to ramp up, and then you'll get a lucky bounce eventually. This one's pretty easy. 11 is pretty annoying. I don't think that this is the way that you're intended to get it in, but I just wanted to circumvent all the... I think you're supposed to go around those 2 little blocks, but it was pretty annoying to try to get it in there. If you aim straight for the hole and you hit it directly in the middle of this bridge, it will 2 bounce into there. You can see right there's where it bounced. 12 is pretty straightforward. Hit it off the, kind of ricochet off the top of that wall. Eventually, you'll get a lucky bounce off this David Hasselhoff down here. You want to go about 40, 50% speed, maybe 60. Eventually, it's going to bounce around enough to where you'll go in there. There's a little banister or baluster at the very bottom. I'll show you where to bounce off that. You're going to hit it maybe 50-60% speed. It's going to bounce off of that and ramp up this rock here and bounce over. And here's my friend Forrest getting it. 14, pretty straightforward. Couple bounces. I actually don't suggest this one. I think there's too much luck involved because you're bouncing off of the edges of the rock. This one is what I prefer. If you look in between that sand pile and the boat, that little chasm there, and then there's that shadow right at the very edge. If you hit in the very center on the edge of that, it will one bounce in. That's the one I prefer. It's pretty straightforward. Takes the guesswork out of it. It might take you 5 minutes to get that, no big deal. And you can see, boom, right in. "15, there's a little rock here. It's got a ramp on it. It's going to ramp you straight in. Takes a while, but you can get it. You can pretty much get it dialed in. This little area on the rock right here. Just get it dialed. You'll go in. Forrest hits the same ramp, but I think he hits it a little bit farther to the left, and then he is going to bounce off. Here's his, boom. He bounced off this little wreckage down here and goes in. 18, actually super easy because there's a perfect cue on this one. I'll show you here at the end. There's a little chip in the rock, and you just go to the very edge of that chip right there, boom. No problem. This one is super easy. I was dreading this one, but it turned out to be way easier than dunking it on hole 1. Here's Forrest. I think it's funny how it bounces out of the hole. So anyway, okay, bye.